it's the answer phone again.
Guten Tag, Mr. Ridley.
Basically, Gus, I want the same money as Henry, or I shall leave and I shall take your A, B, and C's 1 and 2 with me. Now, I gave in over the size of my photograph in the lobby, but I'm digging my heels in over this one. You're undervaluing me.
Oh, Sally, believe me, no one values you more than I do. I regard you as the jewel in our crown.
Really?
Really. And you're right. There does seem to be some sort of anomaly, which means that Henry's on a higher basic than you. I believe the difference is somewhere in the region of...
£7,840.
Thanks. Well, it saves me looking it up. Yes, well, I think we can commit to increasing your money by £7,840.
And I would be on exactly the same money as Henry?
Yes. Though I'd appreciate it if our arrangement was kept confidential. Only if Henry were to find out. Well, you know how terribly childish you can be about these things, son. So, is this arrangement acceptable?
For the time being, Gus, yes. Of course, objectively, I should get more money than Henry, but I suppose once again I'm to be penalized for my reasonableness.
Sally, I've always said it. When it comes to reasonableness, you're in a class of your own.
Right, is there anything else breaking?
Yeah, there's more reaction to the royal pay rises. Government says it wants to ease the burden on the taxpayer. Answer's obvious, really. You make her the Queen PLC and you flog her to Lord Hanson.
I think I've got a piece on some new very large corn circles. You know, what causes them? Is it some intelligent alien life force?
They can't be that intelligent if they just spend all their time drawing circles. Maybe they're huge, retarded Martians who enjoy playing noughts and crosses.
How's the virus doing?
Well, it's still rampant. It started mangling up the scripts in the obituary section. You see, it's got Thatcher's obit mixed up with the one for Alice Cooper. As Prime Minister, Mrs. Thatcher soon began to develop a distinctive style which included biting the heads off live chickens. At least I think it's mixed up.
My migraine's developed a migraine now.
Hold on, what's it up to now? It's not making any sense at all. It's just a load of drivel.
Sally, we found your book.
Moron. Critic.
Hang on, what's it throwing up now? Seems to have accessed into some sort of confidential record. Hey, there's a section on you, George.
It's full of personal information. Well, this is outrageous. And half of it's wrong, see? Born May 3rd, 1947, that's wrong. Studied English lit at Manchester Poly, that's wrong. Chronic hypochondriac, that's wrong. This is outrageous. There's a list of all my friends and their political affiliations.
See if I'm in there.
Alex hates. Oh, yes. Including your political activities as a student.
Well, that's not right.
Again, you see, loads of mistakes. And they've got your job description wrong. Oh, and conviction for car theft, May 1973. I mean, honestly, what a mistake to have on your file. It is a mistake.
Well, not entirely. Well, I was mad about this boy who worked the local dodgems, you see, and took me for a spot of adolescent joyriding in a borrowed Daimler.
Oh, I see.
Oh, come on, George, I was only 16. Well, you must have done some silly, impetuous things when you were a teenager. No, you didn't, did you?
What's it got on you, Damien?
Let's see. Damien Day. See psychiatrist's report.
And on yours truly. Ah, a list of organisations with which I am credit blacklisted. This should make interesting reading.
So who's compiled all these files, then? Personnel department?
No, these are someone's secret files. You see, there's a code name. Omega.
Yes, but who would want all this personal information on us?
I don't know. Someone who wants to know everything, I suppose, so that he can control people, manipulate them.
How on earth would Gus have got hold of all this kind of information?
Well, you can employ agencies who'll acquire it from police computers, medical records, that sort of thing. Well, I did a special feature on them for my Is Our Privacy Being Invaded piece. You know, the one where I confronted that surveillance consultant.
In his bedroom.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, it's finished. 21 pages of people who think I'm a credit risk.
21 pages, that's horrendous.
Yeah, it's not up to date, actually. I missed a few out.
Do you know there's a principle at stake here? We can't tolerate Gus spying on us like this.
All right, so they're Gus's files. What are we going to do about it?
The way I see it, we've got two options. Well, either we can draw up a list of our grievances and make a formal complaint through the proper channels, or we can lynch him.
I think we should lynch him.
I've been a newscaster for nearly 20 years, for God's sake, and I was a foreign correspondent long before little Sally Smug was even conceived in her test tube of Portendown. Are you listening to me?
Absolutely, Henry, absolutely.
I'm warning you, Gus, if the differential in pay between Sally and me isn't widened, I shall resign in a blaze of lurid tabloid exclusives.
Henry, please believe me, I regard you as the jewel in our crown. And I'll admit, there has been an anomaly. So I think we can viably commit to doubling the differential between you.
So that's an increase of what?
£7,840. Oh, and it might be better for office morale if this were kept from Sally.
Only you know how terribly childish she is, Henry.
I'm sorry, Henry, but this is important. Gus, it has come to our attention that you have paid some agency to dig up lots of highly personal information about us to put on your own secret computer filing system.
I know, disgraceful, isn't it?
Sorry?
They completely overstepped their brief. Excessive zeal, I'm afraid. I just asked them to do a few basic security clearances. You know, for if the PM's coming and Special Branch want to be reassured there are no assassins lurking here, that sort of thing. But I'm afraid these chappies went into Mega Snoop. And when I saw how much they'd invaded everyone's privacy to get hold of this stuff, well, I was as shocked as you are.
Sorry, my bullshit alarm just went off.
It's true. I was appalled. I've been meaning to wipe them myself, actually.
My bullshit alarm just overloaded.
The fact remains, Gus, that you compiled secret files about virtually everybody in this office.
Yes, indeed. And what do these files say about me?
That in 1946 you were expelled from Winchester for urinating in the headmaster's sherry decanter. That in 1965 you were obliged to leave Israel after making an obscene suggestion to Golda Meir. And that in 1966 you were arrested for disturbing the peace after they found you in Windsor Great Park dressed as Marilyn Monroe and attempting to strangle a swan.
Oh, well, fair enough.
We want something done about these records. In fact, I think they should be destroyed.
Brilliant idea, George. The perfect solution. I tell you what. Why don't you wipe them personally? Here you are. There's the disc.
And?
The safety copy. Absolutely. Mustn't forget that, must we? Well, if that's that little misunderstanding straightened out, thank you all for coming to see me. Now, I know you news commandos have to get back to the front line, so off you go, squad. Oh, Henry. Joy, as always. Gus Hedges' first rule of management. Always keep a safety copy of a safety copy. Damien, can I borrow you for a second?
Certainly. Oh, my God.
It's just that you appear to be our resident expert on computers.
Yes, amazing, isn't it, for a mental patient? Look, what exactly did it say about me in this psychiatrist report?
That you are a model of sanity for the rest of us to be measured against. Now, Damien, I just wanted to ask you, how will this virus behave next?
Well, God knows. At the moment, it's just grabbing material and displaying it at random.
I see. So it could, for the sake of argument, randomly display more confidential data of a sensitive nature?
Oh, you mean, for the sake of argument, your secret strategy to drastically reduce staff levels?
Ah. Have the others seen it?
Well, not yet, but they might soon.
Damien, I've been meaning to talk to you about your salary. There's been some sort of anomaly. We'll interlock on this soon, eh?
Sure.
Damien. There's a farmer on the phone for you. He says, how big do you want the corn circles?
Oh, great.
George! I just wanted to say one thing. I'm a listener.
Eh?
And because I'm a Lizzler, I've realized you're 150% right.
About what?
This computer virus. We should pay up. Oh, I know it's easy for me to have the luxury of some high moral position. But it's you, the frontline troops, who'll be peppered with shrapnel. We have to live in the real world. I'll make arrangements for that money to be transferred into that Panamanian bank account.
You mean surrender?
Out goes Winston Churchill, in comes Winnie the Pooh.
Well, I've come to realize that George's advice is tempered, as always, with insight and experience. Now, don't forget to wipe those tapes.
All right, Henry.
Oh, yes, Sally. Everything okay with you? Are you still bothered about your money?
Not at all, Henry. I'm happy. You happy?
Oh, yes, I'm very happy.
Then we're both very happy, aren't we? What's going on?
I think it's the Smugness Olympics.
Come on, let's wipe this stuff. These tapes are despicable. I find this kind of intrusion really abhorrent.
Very tacky indeed.
Absolutely. Sooner they're erased, the better. I never knew she was a lesbian, did you? Hey, look, John's got herpes.
Yeah. So's Julie in accounts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Hey, Dave, who did win that Archbishop of Canterbury sweepstake?
Jack in lighting.
What? Jack, the alcoholic who was arrested for fare dodging?
Yeah.
You know, I must say I don't like the sound of this Bath and Wells chap. The papers say he's a Cockney secondary modern boy who supports Arsenal. That's all we need. A pearly primate with "Come on, you gunners" emblazoned across his surplice, who'll replace the creed with 4 choruses of "Knees Up, Mother Brown." Can you imagine? Brown ale and jellied eels at communion.
Yeah.
Lambeth
All right,
Walk.
Henry, I'm working.
What on?
This Waldheim story. He's meeting the Czech and West German presidents. Marks his rehabilitation.
Is he giving a press conference after?
Yeah. Mind you, he'll probably come out of the meeting saying it never happened, and if it did happen, he can't remember being there.